So Eduardo Solana, we're going to get back to the Heat Media Day stuff. I want to play the Step Brothers clips, but Eduardo Solana is available and willing in the beautiful city of Kendall, Florida, Crowder, to give us some picks. But first, I want to ask Eduardo, and if you're new to the show, Eduardo Solana's dad joins us on Wednesdays, makes some picks, and he went 2-1 last week. He had a winning week. I'd like to get him to a 3-0 week, but he went 2-1. He's 6-9 on the season. So he had a slow start, but he's coming on strong. And hopefully he's got some winners for us today. But first, we know, Eduardo, your son was caught in the mountains of North Carolina during this terrible Hurricane Helene. People have lost their lives. And for a while, we didn't know, if he was going to make it out. And so what were you trying to do? We were under the impression that you were trying to, facilitate some sort of rescue, an air rescue.
Oh, well, he's home now. But he would have stayed a couple of more days. He would have, came back as a man, and I think, the major problem they have is not that they didn't have food, they didn't have water, running water, no bathrooms. They didn't have internet. They didn't have a phone. Now these days, these kids, I would say, all the towers from the cellular phones, they don't work anymore, and half of the people, they will die. They don't know what to do.
Listen, put me in that group, because I don't think. You could survive, right, Eduardo? No cell phone doesn't. What if you had no cigarettes, though?
But usually when I go on a trip, I go prepare.
All right, so you would never be caught without a pack of cigarettes.
I go for a week, I take it for 2 weeks. That's
when Alejandro got back, though, and he made it out of the storm. And honestly, people have lost their lives. And you saw him for the first time. He got in on a Saturday night. Did you pick him up at the airport? When you saw him for the first time, did you cry? Did you embrace him?
No. What for? Maybe I cry because he's back. He's back. He's alive.
Your plan had failed because he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go to the mountains of North Carolina. You looked at the weather report. You said, no, get your ass on that plane. You're going.
I told him, I'll send you a helicopter. And then these smart little guys, they say, well, there's no place to land here. Helicopter doesn't land. They throw you a rope with a cage, and they lift you up. But they don't.
You rappel right up the rope. You're so you didn't have a tearful reunion, though, with your son when you saw him for the first time.
He survived 3-4 hurricanes here. That was a tropical storm. It's just that's sad that that city wasn't prepared. They didn't expect it. The people, I don't think they gave him at least the 2-3 days advice, and look at the consequences now. I pray for those people.
And then, Eduardo, you're his dad. You've known Solana since the day he was born. Do you trust Alejandro in pressure situations? Because we're around him at work, and he doesn't seem like he deals with that stuff well.
Yeah, no, I do trust him. No problem.
Was your?
They were kids. Would it be people my age, 6 people? It would have been a different situation. But at that age, what that is.
Yeah. I know what it was, Eduardo, because there was a bachelor party and there was 6 men in a cabin. I didn't know that was bachelor party material.
That's no bachelor party you've ever been to, Eduardo. I know that. You don't have to confirm or deny, because I know.
No, not that kind. That's for sure. That's for sure.
What about Solana's mom? Was she?
She was in panic.
At the thought of him,
she was.
Going through all this.
Since the first hour, she was in panic. How are they gonna do? How are they gonna survive? They don't have food. They have to. Just their kids. They're gonna have fun. They're gonna find a way to to go out. And remember something that I had to for another problem. I was in 2 earthquakes as a rescue in El Salvador.
In Uruguay?
No, El Salvador and in Mexico. I used to be part of the Miami-Dade rescue team here. I mean, and that's something that, that one.
You were?
I used to be a ham radio operator, and I used to do a lot of stuff. I've been with the Pope.
This is all true. My dad had installed a massive antenna in my parents' backyard when ham radios were still very popular, and it was standing up until a couple years ago. And he was the ham radio operator when the Pope came to FIU years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a CB radio back in the 70s? Did you have a CB radio?
That for tractor drivers.
Right. In your car, your pickup truck.
No, I have a 2-meter radio. It's like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
It's called a 2-meter. I still
didn't
have
know
all
you were
the
a ham radio guy. That's interesting.
Well, that's the other part of my life. I used to do rescues, and several of them. I used to help the Red Cross doing communications. I mean, I've been cooperating with the community.
So you really would have gotten Solana out of there. You like that? That would have been nothing for you.
Well, I called my neighbor that he's a pilot. He's retired, and I asked him, and he flies little airplane here from the Miami airport, and I say, let me know and find out if what airport is open that we can go. And I got everything ready to go over there to Charlotte and try to get him.
And you would have flown with your neighbor? You would have gone with him?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be great?
Liam Neeson off Taken. You're gonna go get your baby.
He's got a set of skills, a particular set of skills. Wouldn't it have been funny though, Alex, if a rescue plane or chopper arrived over your campsite and then your dad came down a rope to rescue you himself? That would have been. Would you have gotten weepy and teary-eyed?
I don't think I would have boarded that helicopter, to be 100% honest.
Good, Pop. See you back home.
We're very glad that he's back. I know you are as well. All right. Eduardo Solana, he picks games for us, and we have so much to get to today. Let's do this quickly. I don't know if you know this, Crowder. Do you know that Gainesville, your team, the University of Florida, is hosting UFC this Saturday?
The wrestling?
UCF. I'm sorry. UCF. The school Alejandro was waitlisted at.
Yes.
Did you know the Gators are hosting UCF?
Yes, and I'm terrified.
Do you know what the line is?
They have to be favored. We're at home.
UCF is a 3-point favorite in Gainesville over the Gators. I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Eduardo, do you like the Gators or what? I don't even know UCF's name. What are they?
Knights.
UCF Knights?
Yes.
Are they? Yeah. You like the Gators getting 3 at home or the Knights giving 3 on the road?
I like the Knights.
All right, UCF.
Always against UF, the little alligator.
I think I might bet that too, because everyone's going to look at that line and is going to say faulty line. Gators should be giving points at home, and that means UCF is going to rout them.
UCF playing well. They just beat somebody good.
Yeah.
No, I'm worried about this one.
How about the Hurricanes, Eduardo? They are 10.5-point favorites over Cal. Saturday night, game doesn't kick off till 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Oof.
Hurricanes minus 10.5 or Cal plus 10.5.
I'm going with the UM.
Yeah,
favor
like
for
that
10.5.
Well, I think that's a good bounce back game. And then finally, the Dolphins. Dolphins have been a dumpster fire last couple of weeks. The Patriots are 1-point favorites over the Dolphins in New England on Sunday.
I'll tell you what, I'm going with the Dolphins.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Let's try it. They had to float sometime. They had to emerge, these Dolphins.
Well, I hope you're right. There you go. Eduardo Solana. He likes UCF laying the points in Gainesville. He likes the Hurricanes laying the points at Cal Berkeley, and he likes the Dolphins getting the points in New England on Sunday. Thank you, Eduardo. We will speak to you next week. We'll be live at Whiskey Stars and Cigars. I hope you're coming out.
I'll be there. Thank you, guys. Have a great day and Happy New Year.
And thank you very much to you two and your family. It's Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you. Yep.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
Happy New
Rosh
Year.
Hashanah.
Damn,
That's
Eduardo,
very good.
man. That's my
That's
man.
very good.